Okay, so the things to focus on here. Your use of boost. Your positioning was already good. You're in the right places at the right time, mostly. Just be careful about when you're going into the enemy team.
Quite some time I die for or lose my mech for that.
Yeah, you should. So you should not ever really be losing your mech. There are only some times where it's acceptable. Like if you're the last person on a point, or you're really trying to get an important pick and you had to put yourself at risk in order to do so. Sometimes yes, but most of the time no. If you're going across the bridge, you always have to be watching the sky. You cannot just walk across without expecting a Pharah to boop your team. You have to be able to block that. I like what you're doing here. That's good. Focusing the Mercy. That's a good boost. Here, you are just really deep. You want to get out of that. So you stopped your boost really, really early there.
You? Sorry?
So right there is not where I would recommend trying to boost into the enemy team. You should be walking around a lot more.
Okay.
Yep.
King of the Hill map is where more often I don't know where to be.
Well, you always want to be wherever your team is. And your team isn't really where you are right now. So they're coming from spawn right now, which means right at this moment you shouldn't be trying to do anything. The best you can do, I mean, it is quick play, you can't expect everyone to group up, but yeah, so this is an opportunity. When you see someone ult like that, go in. That's very okay. Yeah, when you boost, I like what you did there, but you didn't commit nearly hard enough. If you're gonna go after the Lucio, go after the Lucio. Anyone you go after should be dying. If they don't die, think about it, figure out why, and then either don't do that again or do it better next time. I mean, you should have killed that Lucio. Yeah. It was completely possible, but you played too safe. So right here, your team is out across. Uh-oh.
I don't know why.
No, it happens. It happens. So in this case, like I mentioned, the other way you need to use boost is to get to your team. If your team is in there and you want to try and help them out, you boost into it. Right now, without your team there, you want to get away.
I don't know why it didn't hit the sheet.
So you put yourself at a position where you had no matrix left. So when that ult came up, you couldn't do anything about it. That's why you need to just let more of this regular damage just go through. If you're taking too much damage, don't rely on matrix. You got to rely on positioning to save you, which means you need to back out. You actually have very good aim for your rank. What you need to work on is your target prioritization and your focus. Most importantly, I'd say focus. Doesn't matter what you're shooting at, as long as you see it through. Like, the first thing I wouldn't recommend, don't use your pistol against a Pharah. It's one of the hardest targets to hit with the pistol.
Okay.
And ends up being a lot of waste of time. Shoot at stuff like, yeah, you can very easily, exactly, perfect, that was great. That was really nice. Yeah, shoot at the stuff that's easy along the ground. Which is going to be things like a McCree or a Sold or Tracer even. Tracer's a lot easier to hit than, okay. Lucio just jumped off. Yeah, shoot at stuff along the ground or tanks. And you really need to break this habit of matrixing when there isn't actually damage there. It's kind of reflexive, I know how it can be, but if there isn't directly something to matrix, you should not be matrixing. Alright. So again, don't focus on that Pharah. You're not going to hit him. Now, as soon as she ults, sure, she's stationary, you can get in shots, and if your team all turns and focuses on her, she'll just die. Wow, I can't believe that Mercy got the res off. Okay, interesting. Nice. Just focus. No, okay, very good, because your team was able to help you out with that Mercy. You got the kill. Now here, just choose one thing and go after it. There, nice, nice, nice. Nice, wow. Yeah, you have good aim. You just have to work on what you decide to use that aim on. Okay. Again, don't go after the Pharah. Put yourself with your team. If you're on your own, the Pharah can two-shot you, or even one-shot you sometimes, if you're taking just a little bit of damage. I mean, if she's the only target you can see, of course, take her out. Try your best. But otherwise, there are more effective things to be shooting at. See, you really need to be with your team so that you can prevent soldiers from just going off like that. Okay. If Tracer is on your back, she's probably the one you should just turn around and shoot at. Otherwise, you're a free kill. Yeah, it doesn't look like you're getting back in.
No.
Okay, so what I want you to focus on throughout the next map then is staying in the middle of your team more. Because a lot of the time you end up somewhere on the point, or, I mean, well, actually, mostly just on the point, while your team is fighting somewhere else. And when they're getting killed, you're not there to do anything for them. You need to be there to use Matrix or help them finish off kills. Why am I not able to spectate? There we go. So here, especially since you are the only tank, make sure that you're at least kind of in the middle of your team. Yeah, that's good. So, I mean, they're splitting up. You generally don't want to follow the Tracer, because Tracer's going to go off and do her own thing. And never be afraid to call for healing.
No, my friends say call it too much.
Just make sure that when you call for healing and they heal you, you say thank you, even if it's just the voice call out in game.
Ah, yeah. I have a tank link.
See, so quite honestly, this was exactly what I want you to try and avoid, where the rest of your team, so they're getting picks, but you're kind of off on the side doing your own thing and not really doing much of anything while your team is doing stuff. Put yourself in the middle of the bulk of your team, your main force. So like this is exactly the way it should be, where you're there with your team and you're killing stuff with your team. Like right here, the Lucio, great, that's perfect. You just don't want to be alone. The way you win games at every rank is by being with your team. So when you're there with your team, if someone gets hooked, they don't die because you can protect them from that. So again, here, you're kind of on your own. You could have Matrix there to save your Mercy after she got stunned. Ooh, yep. It's another situation where if you had a little bit more Matrix, you may have been able to block more of that. Okay, when you're already that far into a fight, there's no point in boosting in further. Just keep shooting. You weren't going to put yourself in any kind of better position. You're just going to get yourself killed sooner.
Okay.
Okay, yeah. Yeah. You should almost never be matrixing just basic damage here.
I spent hour.
If you're in a position where you need to
Matrix, now I spend hours to lose the.
Yep. If the way you should think about this is if you're in a situation where you need Matrix to survive, you are too far in, you need to be out. So play more safely. Pretend you don't have Matrix. Like here, use the cover, get back up, or fly out. Don't rely on Matrix. Maybe using rockets a little bit sooner there would have been good. That's where you want. Perfect. See, now you had your full Matrix. You blocked a whole lot more damage than you would have usually. You got to pick something and start shooting at it.
No, okay.
Or get out. But you're at that point in the fight, Your team.
I took it out because the team was dead.
Yeah, I mean that's the right idea at this point in a map though, where it's almost over and your team can't get in.
Yeah.
And the fight is kind of still going on. You can go ahead and just pick a target. And there was the McCree and the Mercy and all. They were just kind of dancing around the middle point. Pick a target and rockets, boost, and everything into him to try and take him out.
Justice reigns from above.
When the team splits,
Yeah, that makes it tough. I mean, it's quick play, so there's only so much you can do there. But you at least need to get that idea ingrained into your play style, where if the team is moving one way, you follow them. So, for instance, in the beginning there, you followed the Tracer and Moira. Or rather, the Moira followed kind of you, and you followed the Tracer. You should have gone with the bulk of your DPS and the main part of the team. You never follow the flanker. And then by extension, the Moira would have probably followed you because you're the main tank there. But yeah, in comp, that might have been a little bit easier. Just because your team would group up a little bit more and you would have had more instances in which you're playing with everyone. Your usage of boost was getting a bit better.